I'm Dr. Elena Philippou. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm passionate in helping people have a healthy relationship with food, be it to prevent disease, manage a health problem, or generally feel at their best. Remember, of course, we're not only what we eat, but we're also what we eat. Compulsive overeating is truly a very sensitive topic. People often eat due to stress, feelings of being overwhelmed, feeling sad, or due to boredom or loneliness. Others might associate certain situations, such as having exams, or a difficult project at work, or even a difficult relationship with their child or partner, with emptying the biscuit tin. What's common in all situations is the consumption of food despite feeling full or without feeling hungry at all in the first place. The person would eat an unusually large amount of food, and this is consumed much more quickly than usual, or sometimes slowly but consistently throughout the day and night sometimes, but definitely past satiety. Many times people try to hide their shame or embarrassment by eating alone. They end up feeling disgusted in themselves, disappointed or guilty, which may actually lead to a decision of restricting their food to the minimum for a certain period of time. This then leads to a vicious cycle where there's restriction and then overeating again. So let me now give you 5 tips on how to stop this cycle. Tip number 1, record and observe yourself. Keep a food and feelings diary where you record what you eat, when you ate it, with whom and how you felt. This will help you understand when you're most vulnerable. You may actually start to observe some patterns. For example, you might find out that you're most likely to overeat in the afternoon or in the evenings, especially if you have had a long day. We know from research that when we're stressed, especially for long periods of time, we're less likely to use the parts of the brain that handles memory, concentration, and working towards a defined goal. And instead, we use the more primitive part of our brain that focus on survival. So we're more likely to just forget our goals and reach out for something sweet, because this is what allowed us to survive as primitive people. From your diary, you might find out that lack of sleep is what leads you to overeat. It has actually been proven that when we haven't slept enough, there's an increase in our hunger hormone. This is called ghrelin, and it leads us to crave and consume about 400 kilocalories a day more. And that, of course, is sugary and fatty foods. Lack of sleep also makes all our problems seem more difficult to handle and our moods to get really low. So you can imagine that the combination of stress and lack of sleep is really toxic. You might also notice that you have associated certain other behaviors, such as watching TV with eating, or that you're more likely to turn to food for comfort or overeat on certain days of the week or the month, such as before your period. This can happen due to the changes in the female hormones, estrogen and progesterone, which cause cravings for high sugar foods before a period. By eating these foods, you can feel momentarily that your mood gets better because they help produce serotonin, which is of course a feel-good chemical. But eating large amounts of sugars can lead to a yo-yo effect where your blood sugar increases and then suddenly drops, leaving you drained of energy and reaching for another sugary food. You may also identify some foods that are your trigger foods, meaning that if you eat one of these foods, such as one biscuit, then you can't stop until you consume the whole packet. So what to do? You first need to change these particular circumstances and food associations. Let's take the example of someone who knows that if they sit in front of the TV to watch a film, they won't be able to stop eating. The first step is to change the habit by making even one small tiny adjustment, such as instead of watching TV in the evenings, use your iPad in bed, for example, to watch a movie. Or instead of consuming crisps and nuts in front of the TV, preparing a healthy snack of peanut butter and sliced apple with a cup of herbal tea, for example. If you're someone who knows that they will eat compulsively every Sunday afternoon because they're lonely, make arrangements to go out, be with friends, take on a hobby outside your house, of course, on that particular day. If you eat compulsively when stressed at work, try to identify what it is exactly that you're afraid of. Is it that you feel you have no time to complete your work, you find it too difficult, you're interrupted all the time? Get to the root of the problem, whatever it is. Again, make a small change to start with, such as breaking down the task into smaller, manageable bits and taking regular breaks. By eating compulsively, you're not only solving the problem, but you're creating another one, since you then feel bad about yourself. And if you notice that you're most likely to empty the cupboards when you're alone at night, leave the kitchen, try to brush your teeth earlier, and take a moment to breathe before you start eating. Fast forward to how you will feel afterwards. Ask yourself, what is it that is really bothering you? And write it down. Speak to a friend when you can, or seek professional help to sort out the real problem. Eating is not the solution. So record, observe, and change the situation. Tip number 2, distract yourself. We know that the urge to overeat comes and goes as a wave. It gets bigger and bigger as it approaches, but then breaks like a wave on the seashore. You can use this to your advantage by distracting yourself until the wave breaks. What you can do is take some time when you're relaxed to prepare a list of alternative things you could do instead of eating. This list is highly individualized, but it could include taking a walk around the block, listening to music, dancing, exercising, doing yoga, taking a long bath or a cold shower, knitting, playing a musical instrument, reading a book, speaking to a friend on the phone. Keep your list somewhat safe and easy to find. When you feel the urge to overeat, say to yourself, let's just take 10 seconds, pick something from the list and try that instead of eating. This distractive strategy is highly effective because you have now done something else for this time required to break the wave, and you'll find that the urge to eat goes away. It also helps because you feel a sense of achievement by overcoming one battle at a time. Tip number 3, rate your thirst and hunger. If even after distracting yourself you still want to eat, you might actually be truly hungry or even thirsty. Take a pause to rate your feelings. Use a scale from 1 to 10 and rate how hungry and thirsty you feel. Many times we can confuse thirst for hunger, and it's true that we don't actually feel thirsty until we're a little bit dehydrated. Drink a glass of water or herbal tea. If you're hungry, prepare a nutritious meal or snack and sit down to eat it. This is where many people go wrong. They feel hungry and they grab something quick to eat that lacks any nutrients, such as something processed. This then makes them even more hungry or acts as a trigger to start overeating. But what could be a nutritious and balanced meal or snack? Some examples could be low-fat yogurt with walnuts and sliced banana, or a seeded toast with avocado and sliced tomato, or a piece of salmon with quinoa and vegetable salad. The possibilities are endless, really. Tip number 4, enjoy the quality rather than the quantity. Consider the scenario where you really crave some chocolate or your favorite crisp flavor. Go for it. I think here the misconception is what we call dichotomous thinking, black or white. But this is wrong. Enjoying a small amount of your favorite food is actually healthy and helps in your well-being. Denying yourself everything or eating only the right foods, something that we call orthorexia, is actually a whole different problem in itself. Have what you crave, but consider the quantity. Prepare a small portion of your favorite food in a dessert plate, sit down with a cup of tea and enjoy it. Savor every bite. Be there when you eat it. Be mindful. Switch off the TV, slow down, relax, avoid any distractions, and smell the food. Taste every single bite and feel grateful that you're able to eat it. When you finish, put your plate away and do something else, still enjoying the aftertaste. Believe me, doing this ritual will also make you feel better, since you're now able to consume what you like, but you have limited the amount. And lastly, tip number 5, be organized. I can't stress enough the importance of being organized. We've all been there. We come home being really hungry and we open the fridge to find out that there's nothing really ready to eat. Prepare some homemade peanut butter, have cooked sliced chicken fillet in a container in your fridge. Make sure you have a couple of boiled eggs, Keep some seeded bread in your freezer that can be toasted straight away. Cut some carrots, stir fry some broccoli, make a bean salad. There's so many different ideas. And lastly, start from somewhere and make one small change at a time. Start today, even if it means you will only make a tiny change, such as eating every 3 hours. Praise yourself when you have achieved that. If you manage something but you're not so good in something else, try again. Don't give up. This is a learning process. It will take time. There will be lapses, but this is all part of this process. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself time, and it will be okay. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you which of these tips you found most useful, or if there's anything else that has helped you in the past. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.